What's going on, everybody? I'm starting to think a lot of these social media yield boost pumpers, whether they have Discords, they're on X, YouTube, and even Reddit, I'm starting to think maybe they're paid shills by Granite Shares. Yeah, I mean, I'm not accusing anybody of this, but man, there's some stuff out there that makes absolutely no sense. And why? I mean, there's no way a rational person would be pumping products like TSYY. Let's get into this. So I thought at first maybe these folks were just degenerate gamblers that, they're losing money on Tesla or whatever, and so they want to sell out of Tesla and go to TSYY, which is a yield boost product. When the yield boost product is way worse in every metric than Tesla. And I'm not here to promote Tesla at all, or am I here to promote TSYY, but it makes no rational sense to me why someone would do something like this unless maybe, possibly, they were a paid shill. Right? And if you have a community and you know that community members tend to follow your moves, you could use that psychology and manipulate a crowd of people to get into funds. And then, of course, be paid by Granite Shares. So why would anyone in their right mind, if you have Tesla and you like it for whatever reason, why would you sell out of it to go to a worse product? Let's look at this. So here's TSYY, and from inception, if you kept all the distributions, you're down 17%. It's just absolutely horrible. And if you decided to reinvest the dividends, well, you're only down 13%. And, reinvest the dividends. Get the guys at Granite Shares more AUM. Maybe, you got paid maybe these people are getting paid commission. I don't know, and I'm not accusing them of this, but it makes no rational sense why anyone would pump TSYY over Tesla, for instance. So here's Tesla year-to-date price change. And these aren't known, meaning these yield max products and yield boost products, for having share price appreciation. But you can see here, price change year-to-date, yield boost is down 13%, while its nearest competitor, Tesla, is up 10% in price change. If we go to total return year-to-date, Tesla up around 10%. And you can see here, TSYY negative 13%. Who in their right mind would make this switch if you're into Tesla? Why? I mean, for whatever reason, why would you make this switch? It makes no sense. And then you go here to on Reddit. What NAV erosion? TSYY has been solid for a while. Now, granted, this is 8 days ago, but even 8 days ago, what NAV erosion? This is what people are saying in social media platforms, right? The thing is and here's the underlying, or I know they use they sell puts on a leverage Tesla fund, TSLL, but look, here's Tesla near all-time highs, and here's this thing near all-time lows. So people would have Jay on in their community, and they'd have interviews and stuff with them, and now you're seeing the tide turn away from yield max, right? And the thing is, we don't want to, put back 100%, like Jay has always said, right? You need to reinvest 100% to keep up with the NAV decline, the price share decline, and the declining distributions over time. You have to do that. Well, of course, they're going to say that. They want that AUM, and they want people to be happy, keeping everything relatively flat. So, and, you're not really yielding anything, but I digress. So when I say that, people get all mad, but then they'll have someone like Will, whatever his last name is, from Yieldboost, come into their communities and do interviews with them, and he says the same exact thing, And then he was literally told that he's a hero in their community. How does this make sense? I don't think it does, right? I mean, there's no rational person. When this person says you got to drop 100% back into the fund to keep it even, the same question was asked to this fella. He said that, and they were cheering and calling him a hero in their community. He said the same exact thing. And their product is worse. So who in their right mind is doing this? Again, I'm not accusing anyone of being a paid shill, but doggone it sure looks like that. Because there's no rational explanation. Be either a degenerate gambler who thinks that the higher yield is going to get them more money and offset possibly losses that they're incurring on other funds, or they're being paid by Granite shares to pump their product to their communities. Again, I'm not accusing it. I have no proof of this. It's just my speculation. But it seems freaking weird that someone would do that. It makes no rational sense whatsoever. And then, people are, talking about how they're making so much money on ULTY. I'm making $700-800 a week or whatever. You're really not making money, especially the last 3 months, because it's going down. You're not actually, because you're getting paid distributions, you're not really making money. It's disingenuous, I think, to say that you're making money when you're not. Because it's not you're not actually making the money. You're just pulling money out of a losing proposition to begin with. Well, the reasons why, it's losing money is because the share price continues to decline over time. Doesn't matter how much they change your strategy, this, that, or the other, it continues to go down over time. And of course, with the lower share price comes the lower distributions, right? And it's paid weekly. So the distributions, it's death by 1,000 paper cuts, right? Here on April 10th, it was at 08, and our latest distribution at 07, and then it's going to just obviously continue to go down. All while, of course, the markets are super extended, massive bull run. So already know what the future holds when these things correct. There's no growth with them to help them recover, right? To help the investor to get back on their position from a profitable standpoint. It's just not going to happen. And then you got the same people that are pumping TSYY. They're also pumping COYY. And again, I'm going to get into this. Who on earth would do that? Now, this guy here, any chance it, may not even go way back up, but at least stabilize or gain. I don't think this guy's a paid shill that I'm showing here because he's talking about he's losing money, right? Paid shills don't do that. They talk about how much they're actually making because of the yield, but I digress. So this guy says he's down 2K and he'd like to get out, but he can't because of the distribution. So this is where I think the gambling comes into effect, that you think you're making that money because you're getting that distribution per month. But at least this guy at least has a sense to know he's down for the year. Well, it's not, buddy, it's not going to go up. It's not going to go up because here's what the chart looks like. The chart doesn't lie. Numbers don't lie. They tell you everything you need to know. And this thing is obviously been on a death spiral to hell. What's its underlying been doing? Well, it's been making higher highs and higher lows, so it's been slowly marching up, meaning coin, while this is going down. So, sir, I don't, ma'am, I don't know who you are, but yeah, no, this thing ain't stabilizing. It's not going to go up a little. You're better off. Not financial advice. I couldn't tell you what to do, but if this was me, I would just cut the thing and be done with it, because do you see any hope for this going back up with the underlying already going up and this thing's going down? I don't see it. And here's your distribution, sir, constantly eroding and declining with time. Here's your total return, Mr. Reddit, who and these are the people that are pumping these funds, not the guy I just mentioned, but these guys that have Discord servers and big X presence and YouTube and all of that. COYY 3-month total returns down 13%, while the underlying continues to go up. Price change for the last 3 months on COYY, down 43%. And then it just gets worse. TSYY getting hit hard from a Tesla dip, and you can see here. And then people are saying, yeah, I hope it recovers because I left ULTY for this. Well, no doubt ULTY is trash. But I think people see these, social media people, and they get in TSYY, which is actually worse. You can't make it up. And then, of course, you'll also have your margin folks in here, and they didn't expect the market to drop. It barely dropped. It's crazy. And I honestly think, I'm starting to think anyway, that people that are pumping these funds, they have to be paid shills for this man right here, right? I mean, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Who would trade one product that's doing better for this product? So just be careful who you're watching out there. And I don't know. It's just kind of very concerning to me to see this in the community. All right. Talk to you later. Bye.